What is going on, guys? I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. A big hot discussion we've been seeing a lot of lately is NHL 19 the best NHL yet? Or even more commonly, is NHL 19 the best game on next-gen consoles? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, personally, do I think the game's the best game ever? I don't even think it's close to the best game ever. Does my opinion matter? Not really. I mean, if you think the game is fantastic, you love the game, and you think it's the greatest game ever, and you love playing it, don't let me stop you from enjoying the game, right? But what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going over the negatives and the positives so far that I've seen a lot of in this game. You guys can tell me what you're thinking of them. See if you've noticed them yet. See if that makes you feel differently about the game. Maybe you like it better, maybe you like it less. But there's a few things I want you to ask yourself real quick before we start this. Very, very important things too. First of all, are you good at NHL 19? A lot of people, they're bad at the game, so they hate the game. They're good at the game, they love it. Are you good at the game and hate it? Are you bad at the game and still love it? Ask yourself that. Second of all, have you thoroughly played every single game mode so far in NHL 19? I'm talking Be a Pro, I'm talking Franchise, I'm talking HUT, I'm talking ESHL. It's not even been a week. The game's not even officially been out for, what, 4 days? So I do find it hard to believe that everybody's had time to thoroughly play every game mode and then just assess that the game's the greatest. So do your best to try and play every game mode, then see what you think about the game. And then third and finally, how did you feel about NHL 18 last year this time? NHL 18 was out for 4 days last year. What was you thinking about the game? Did you love the game? Because I asked people about how they thought about NHL 18 right now, they'd probably tell you they hated it. I remember NHL 18 when it first came out. I was dying to play. I played it every single day. I was grinding out that NHL 18. So just a few questions I was kind of curious to see what you guys thought about right there. But I do want to know what you guys are thinking. Please do let me know down below. And I think it'd be kind of cool too if you come back in a couple months and maybe see what your thoughts of the game was then. See what they were 2 months down the road. You know what I mean? Like I said, thoroughly playing the game can change your mind. Let's go ahead and start though. We're going to go with the negatives first. We're going to save dessert for last. Can't be spoiling your guys' appetite, right? So let's think about this right now. So what are the negatives of NHL 19? Well, there is a lot of things missing. Did you notice all these things missing? We're missing prestige badges and loading screens. We're missing unlock requirements for your traits. You got traits, you don't know how to unlock them. It doesn't tell you when you unlock them, how you unlock them, you just unlock them. You're missing club challenge. It didn't come in the game. It is coming back, but it just shows for whatever reason they were behind on a part of NHL that's been in the game for how many years now. They're missing team collections in HUT. The base, the foundation of HUT, it's been around so many years. Team collections. You no longer have to have a reason to collect lower overall players and get rewards for them in HUT. Missing consistency across all modes. This may confuse some people. Like I said, if you haven't played every game mode thoroughly, you may not understand this. But if you have played every game mode thoroughly, start looking for this. It's not as consistent. The skating, the movement, the turning, the shooting, everything's a little bit different in ESHL compared to HUT. Compared to practice mode. I know practice mode is not really comparable, but I've used practice mode, I've used 80 overall players, and they feel so much quicker and faster than, say, you go use a guy in ESHL or you use a guy in HUT. I've used guys with the same speed in ESHL and HUT. I've used the guys with the same agility. I've noticed it where your guys turn slower or they feel different. They just don't feel the same. The skating just don't feel the same in ESHL compared to HUT, and it is completely not even close to the same when you consider NHL 1s, NHL 3s. That stuff's always been more of an arcadey feel. I guess it's designed to be like that. But then you talk about drop-in games. Again, the skating from drop-ins to ESHL club games are just, it's so much different. So to say consistency, it's just not there. And I'd like to say you'd want consistency there, right? Would you not want consistency there? Am I wrong for saying that? You'd think every game mode should feel the same? I really wouldn't want to go and play a game of Fortnite where the same gun shoots differently in a different game mode. That's just me though, right? I don't want my shotgun shooting out BBs the second time around I'm playing. Missing penalties. Game's missing penalties. You guys ain't gonna like me for this one, but it's missing penalties. Yeah, we get way too many tripping penalties, but we don't get any stick lifting and charging penalties. For whatever reason, these days, you can go and run up from behind a guy when he's not looking and just clock him in the back of the head. You can stick lift the guy in the back of the head. You can recklessly stick lift. Instead of recklessly poke checking, now you can recklessly stick lift without taking penalties. So they're still missing penalties in this game. We fixed poke checking, stick lifting, hitting still a problem. As far as some extracurricular quote-unquote modes that are missing, still no GM connected, a lot of people want to see back. We're missing lobbies in ESHL. Why is lobbies a big deal? And I don't think we'll ever get it back, unfortunately. Lobbies is a way to go and say, hey, I'm a player, I play right wing, I play goalie, I'm looking for a club. Now there's zero way of doing that besides doing like Xbox clubs or PlayStation 4 communities or where you can just be like, oh, I'm looking for a club. A quick way for somebody that's brand new to the game series, and they could just go and type in, I'm a player looking to play. You can no longer do that. I think that makes it more difficult for World of Chel itself. But then there's practice mode. Again, something else in World of Chel that they have not had since NHL 14, where you can go and practice with your buddies, just your buddies. You don't have to worry about other people being in the game and everything else. Now, I understand some of this stuff's missing for a reason, and then some of it's just missing due to laziness, in my opinion. What about the gameplay? I hear a lot of people go out there and say, it's a realistic game. If you play real hockey, you're good at it. If you have a problem with this gameplay this year, you're just bad at the game. It has nothing to do with the gameplay. You're just bad at it. I hear a lot of people say that. The game's more realistic. Play realistic hockey, and you'll do good. So what do I have to say about this? Play more realistic, right? More questions. I'm asking way too many questions this video. Is it realistic for it to be harder to score on breakaways than it is the backhand cheese a guy from the circles in the real NHL? Is it realistic for the D-men to join the rush in 3v3 overtime when two forwards are already up into play? And this is my favorite one of them all. There's going to be a video compilation on this one at some point in time. Is it realistic for a D-man to intercept a pass when he's not even looking? This is like the meta of NHL 19. I don't remember the last time I've seen a guy checking out the babe in the crowd, and then he just intercepts the pass like there was nothing to it. He didn't even see it land. It just magically landed on his stick. Or is it realistic for the 6'10 player to keep pace or even catch a 5'9 player from behind? Questions, questions, questions. How about HUT? Technically, the market's still broken. When you consider Ultimate Team's like collecting cards in real life, but in video game form, and I've never played Pokemon growing up, so that'll get a few unsubs, right? I'm sorry, I know, okay, alright? But if I told you a Pokeball, I'm just going to try to act like I can compare here. If I told you a Pokeball, or whatever it's called, is it a Pokeball? It's probably not a Pokeball. What if I told you a Pokeball, though? You know what I'm talking about, the little ball on the card. What if I told you that was worth double the price of a Pikachu or Charizard? Because that is NHL 19. The Pokeball is a collectible, and Pikachu and Charizard are Crosby and McDavid. And then we're still having connection issues. A lot of people are having issues in the drop-ins even connected to a game loading into the game. Every single year it seems like we have connection issues. There are different connection issues every year. It seems like the same connection issues are there from last year, but it seems like we got additional ones this year. And then last but not least, I feel like it's such a minor missing these days. We're just so used to it missing. Be a Pro's still missing. It's actually in the game, kind of, but not really. It's just like you being player locked and, you know, somewhat progressing. Some people will tell you minor things have been added, but really at the end of the day, Be a Pro has not been touched in next gen, period. But you know what? Everything's not bad. We got the negatives out of the way. Everything's not bad about NHL 19. There's positives too. The new skating system is a positive. They gave us RPM tech this year. Surprisingly, we got a completely overhauled skating system this year. I know a lot of people are hoping for it, but we've seen it. And the thing is, like I said, depending on the game mode, it is a lot smoother. It does feel a lot better when you're skating, cutting, everything else. It feels a lot better. It's not as clunky feeling. You have to give them credit. The new skating system is pretty nice. The annoying, unrealistic poke check spam is gone. We already brought it up about penalties. They got rid of the poke checks from behind, the recklessly poke checking. Now, if you're not in position, you're going to trip the guy. You got to applaud him for fixing some issues people have been mad about. Poke check spam for how many years? That's now gone. How about NHL 1s? It's a game mode literally anybody can jump in there and play. I don't want to offend the people that play it, but I do feel like you don't have to be like this dominant NHL player to jump into a 1s game. It's more of just strategically place yourself to win the game, and you can win the game. It's something nice. Everybody can play. Everybody has a chance to win. They don't have to feel like they're brand new to the game and they have no chance of winning playing online. This is a game that gives them that ability, and it's something different. You got to play 1v1v1. We've never had that before, so it is something nice, something new addition to the game. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I think people like it more than they did the threes mode when it was first incorporated last year as well. And keeping up that World of Chel type talk, we've already seen it. We mentioned them as well, and that's trade editions. We talked about how you couldn't see them being unlocked, but we can unlock them, no period, right? We have more customization this year. You can control your player's attributes a little bit more, your height, your weight. All that stuff wasn't here for the last, 4 years now since, again, NHL 14. So we're getting a lot of customization back into the ESHL modes. What about comp seasons? What about HUT champs, NHL 3s, NHL 1s? First NHL game to ever have all of these modes in them. And it does feel like this is the NHL with the most game modes we've ever had to choose from for one single iteration of the game. So many different game modes, so many different play styles, so many different things you can do in every single game mode. And one thing I always find funny is everyone does say one thing about HUT is they think NHL 14 was perfect. Why do we change it? I'd take NHL 14 HUT over today's HUT any day. But my one question about that, I got to play devil's advocate for both sides here. What do you play at NHL HUT right now? Do you play comp seasons? Because that wasn't in NHL 14. Do you play Hut Champs? Because that wasn't in NHL 14. Do you play solo challenges? Because that wasn't in NHL 14. You won't be able to do any of those things in NHL 14. You know what you could do in NHL 14? The occasional tournament and team collections and open packs. That was literally it. I love the NHL 14. But the depth of Hut now compared to NHL 14, it's just so much deeper. It's hard to argue it, to be honest. Big plus is what they've done from Hut over the years. Of course, their flagship moneymaker, people are going to say, so obviously they're going to be like, well, of course they worked on it. But at least they did work on it, right? And the thing I also like about Hut, not all high overall, is everybody's not a 90 overall already. Maybe come December, January, everybody won't be a 99. What's that mean? People will actually still be playing the game come February and March, and people actually care about Team of the Year because everybody won't be a 99. That's longevity for the game. That keeps people playing. That's a plus side as well. What about Legends? What do they say? 200 some Legends this year? 150, 200? The most Legends we've ever had in NHL games. Bringing a whole bunch of guys back. We have NHL Legend teams, new Legend players. Everybody loves a good Legend, right? Especially when you're on your favorite team. Lots of new Legends this year. And finally, what about Fog of War? What about the new scouting system in franchise mode? I know there aren't a lot of franchise guys, but at the same time, there are a lot of franchise mode players. And what about that Fog of War? That adds a completely different dynamic to franchise mode. Makes you do a lot more scouting. Makes you do a lot more in-depth looking, thinking, strategizing. It brings a different dynamic to franchise mode. And we already talked about that as well. The new scouting system, which comes into play with Fog of War. It's a great feature, honestly, when you think about it for franchise mode. Nothing's just predictable. You have to do different things to get further, and you have to put in more work. It's just another thing for them franchise gurus to get in there and dig deep into and keep playing. So there's a lot of good things that were added. There's some negative things. There's some good things. Like I said, do I think this is the best NHL game ever? No. I don't think we can make that decision right now. Like I said, I want to hear what you're thinking. Somebody's going to tell me it's the best game. It's the worst game. It's terrible. Everybody's going to think differently. But I want to know what you're thinking now, and I don't want to see what people are thinking 2-3 months down the road, because at the end of the day, I feel like every single year you're going to have that hype. But if a game first comes out, you're ready for that fresh game, you're ready for the new modes, the new features, you notice all the new stuff, but it's not until you start really digging into the game, playing it, grinding it, you put in 24, 48, 62, 70, 100, 200 hours, where you start to notice some of the flaws. Do them flaws outweigh the new additions to the game? And does that make you still love the game? Do you like it a little bit less? Do you now think it's worse than previous games? That's where everything changes. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this one. As always, though, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.